Hi, I'm Gail Perry, and here are the top 10 commandments of any successful annual giving campaign. Now, why do we care about annual giving campaigns? It's because smaller, everyday donors are the donors who make these gifts to your nonprofit. But the question is that they want to give, but you have to reach them, open their hearts, and make a case for giving such that they will respond. And these annual donors are so important because they're the foundation of a sustainable fundraising program. These donors produce revenue for your organization that is going to repeat itself year after year, and you can rely on it to keep your nonprofit running. So large gifts are coming in too as well, but we are seeing from a really smart direct mail and digital fundraising campaign, we're seeing 4, 5, and even 6-figure gifts coming in from a well-run campaign. So the question is, how do you set up an annual giving campaign that works? Now, I'm going to give you my top 10 commandments. Here's the first one. Use the same fundraising solicitation message in your mail solicitations, on your website, and on your email appeals, and then in your thank you letters. This is harder than you might think because your website says one thing, you've got your crafting a theme for your annual giving campaign, and you've got thank you letters that say something else. If you use the same message, you're going to reinforce your message, and you're going to reinforce in the donor's brain the case for support and the particular aspect that you're emphasizing through your campaign. So use the same message. Number 2, and this is the hardest one of all, focus more on your donor and what they want to accomplish. Focus less on your own organization's needs and accomplishments. And this is a terribly difficult challenge for many nonprofits because you want to talk about how great you are. You want to talk about, you want to give justification for making these gifts. Oh, donor, we are so wonderful. You can trust us. Please give us this money. Instead, you need to focus on the donor and think, Dear Mr. or Ms. Donor, you are so wonderful to support us. Thank you so much. You believe in our cause. Your past gifts have helped fund all these wonderful aspects of making our community better, on and on about the donor, using the word you and your, and not so much about your organization. This is a true donor-centered letter when you can pull that off. So number 2, you have to have a clear ask for support in your appeal letters and on your website. It's not, I see way too many annual giving letters that come that our clients send us and that I get in the mail anyway as a donor. And they turn it into a newsletter. They turn it into an update. They turn into, they send all this extraneous information along with the appeal letter. But studies show that if your appeal letter simply talks to the donor about why they should give with nothing else, it's going to raise far more money. Do not dilute your ask by including extraneous communications, please. Now, number 4, your top priority in any fundraising campaign is to renew your last year's donors. People, they're your customer base. They're your money in the bank. They're the people who have already voted with their money that they believe in you, and they're going to keep giving if you appeal to them correctly. So always focus on renewals. It's the easiest money to raise is to ask a donor to please remain a supporter. So that's number 4. Number 5, and this is a challenge for many nonprofits. Be sure to communicate with your donors frequently in between solicitations, so that they are up to date and that they feel connected to your organization. In fact, how well you stay in touch with your donors in between solicitations is going to determine whether they give again. So everybody wants to well, we don't have enough money or time or resources to do a donor newsletter. Oh, we're just going to do one thank you letter and that's enough. If you're not in touch with your donors during the year in between asks, they're going to lose their connection, they're going to forget your message, and they're not going to renew their gifts. So, number 6, maintain control over your letter. Do not let a committee approve or edit your letter. And here's the thing, you're going to do your best professional job. You may get outside professional help to do your best job. But then if you let well-meaning but unknowledgeable individuals, board members, C-suite leaders, whatever, help write your appeals, they are going to water it down. They're going to say, this doesn't sound like me, or this isn't appropriate. We need to talk up our organization. We can't talk about the donor. We have to be this way, that way. If you have too many cooks in the stew, your stew is going to be tasteless, and you're going to lose control, and every bit of power in your first appeal letter is going to go down the toilet because you've got too many people fiddling with it. Number 7, update your website and make your donation page easy to use. You would think in this day and age, people are nailing their donation pages, and they're making their website ask for support very clear. But I see more and more sloppy and very basic giving pages on many nonprofit websites. You have to remember that many donors who are going to receive a snail mail letter will go to your website to make the gift. So you want to be able to welcome them with an easy-to-follow online donation process. So I would recommend you make a gift to your organization and see what happens, see how difficult it is. Now, number 8, create an entire campaign. Don't just send one appeal letter and expect it to work. Use phone, use postcards, use letters, use email, use social media to echo the same theme and build up a series of appeals. You can't rely on just one letter to do the work for you because it's not going to work. It's going to fall flat. Number 9, create a budget for your fundraising campaign and look at it as an investment. Know that if you execute it well, your direct mail digital program should yield probably a 400% return. And that is, if you invest in these communications to your donors, you should receive that kind of return back. So if anybody wants to cut your direct mail budget or your digital budget, cut it back down, remind them that this particular investment is bringing in this amount of revenue, and maybe they'll back off. You've got to protect that revenue and that budget. Now, the last one, never ever neglect your snail mail fundraising appeal letters. People are experiencing deluges of emails and very little snail mail. So that means that paper letters stand out far more than a digital appeal in a crowded mailbox. Paper letters get your donors' attention. So I've seen way too many organizations, we want to save money, we're just going to do digital. Forget it, because the donor gets gets the snail mail letter, and then they go to your website to give. So remember, these are my top 10 commandments for creating a smashing annual giving campaign that will break your records and raise the money you need. Give it a try.